Hey guys, today I have a new review to share with you. It is on this new blush palette by L'Oreal. This is their L'Oreal Infallible Paints Blush Palette in 230. This is part of their Spring 2017 collection, and I did order mine off of Amazon for $14.99. So the palette does come with 4 shades in total. It also does come with a little blush applicator. And just looking at the palette face on, you really can tell this is a very spring and summer appropriate palette. Like, I feel like if you were to pour spring and summer into a blush palette, this is what you would get. Just to run down the shades, the first one is kind of like a lighter peachy pink color, very wearable. It looks like it's gonna be a little bit more peachy in the pan, but on the skin it does lean a little bit more pink. Next is this really beautiful, vibrant, true orange. Next is a very deep, hot strawberry pink kind of color. And then lastly is a really nice medium pink rosy shade. These all do have a completely matte finish, which I am totally in love with because I feel like a lot of times drugstore blushes tend to have like a sheen or a shimmer or a glitter to them. And as someone with oily skin, I'm really not about that life. So I really do love that this is totally matte. The pigmentation on these, I would say, are somewhere between light to medium, definitely leaning more towards the medium side though. And I love that about this palette because especially with these like really vibrant shades, they're really gorgeous, but I love that L'Oreal decided to kind of make the pigmentation a little bit lighter. That way they're just a lot easier to work with. Plus, I do feel like that's kind of the idea behind this palette, is so that you kind of mix colors and pretty much customize your own shade for your cheeks however you want. You don't have to feel like you're committed to just one color because it's so intense and pigmented. They're really easy to layer and build on the skin, and they do show up, which is really nice. The formula of the blushes are pretty smooth. Now, they do contain talc, which can cause a little bit of a powderiness, and it's really typical for a lot of drugstore powders that I have tried out and blushes and things like that, for them to have a little bit of powderiness. So there is a bit of that going on, but not anything out of the ordinary that I've tried from most drugstore powders or blushes. So I am wearing 2 of these shades on my cheeks today, actually 3 of them technically, but I did mix these 2 pink shades here at the end on my cheeks, and I did add just a little hint of the orange on just like the apple of my cheeks as well. You probably can't even see it, but that is what it looks like on my cheeks, and I've been wearing them for a while now, so I'm not sure how vibrant they're looking, but I will say when I did apply them, they were very easy to apply. They're not necessarily the most blendable blushes in the world. I would say they did apply a little bit patchy, but again, it's really not anything that out of the ordinary that I've experienced from drugstore blushes in general, so I wouldn't say that it's something that I really notice when I'm applying it. It's just maybe not as blendable as some of my higher end blushes, which, hey, there's no surprise there. One little tiny gripe that I do have with the packaging is the size of the pans. You can see that they are fairly small, and I do have my MAC blush brush here just for reference. You can kind of see it just dipping the brush in the actual powder. The brush is a little bit larger than the pan itself, so it is very easy for it to pick up the color next to it. So that is one little gripe that I have. On me, it's about 5 to 6 hours when I start to see them fade a little bit on my skin, which really is very typical for me with most blushes because I do have an oily skin type. So usually my blushes are fading between like 4 to 6 hours in the day, and that is when I started to see these fade a little bit, but they weren't completely gone off my face at the end of the day, which I really like. Overall, I have to say that I am pretty happy with this palette. I feel like this is something you could easily use just by itself all spring and summer long because there's such a great variety of colors, and I love that every shade is unique from one another, because you know how sometimes you'll get like palettes where there might be 2 shades in there that almost look like identical, or there's that one like totally useless shade that you never touch. Every color in here is one that I would use, especially in the spring and summertime. Do I feel like it's worth the $14.99 price tag? It kind of depends on where you're coming from. If you are a blush junkie like myself and you have 800 blushes that probably look like every single one of these colors, I don't necessarily feel like it's a go-to must-have blush palette. Like, there's no shade in here that I think is totally unique, but at the same time, I think that was the point L'Oreal was making with this palette, is to just make a palette of really great go-to colors that you could just reach for, whether you're traveling or you need something like a go-to in a rush, this could just be your palette that has every single color you could possibly want in the spring or summertime. In that respect, you could say that the shades in here are incredibly unique because they do allow you to customize whatever color you want. I'm a die-hard L'Oreal fan, so regardless of how many blushes I have, I knew I would have picked this up anyways, to be honest. So yeah, it just kind of depends on where you're coming from in your collection or whether or not you're just a drugstore junkie like myself. So one other thing that I do have as a surprise is that I'm actually gonna be doing a giveaway of this palette. I do have a brand new one. For some reason, I did order just one off of Amazon, but they sent me a second one on accident, so I thought, why not go ahead and give it away? And I am gonna be hosting this giveaway over on my Instagram. So all you'll have to do is, number one, follow me on Instagram, like the photo that I'm gonna be posting of this palette, and then just leave me a comment down below of one goal you have for 2017. I'm just making it up on the spot, but I figure it's a good time to start thinking of our goals. I don't like thinking of New Year resolutions, but 2017 goals I feel like has a more reachable feel in my opinion. So yeah, just go ahead, follow me on Instagram, like the picture of this palette, and leave me a comment of one goal you have in 2017. And just so you're not confused, I do have another giveaway also going on. If you haven't checked that out, I will go ahead and link it down below, but that is my big holiday subscriber giveaway. So I will be having that one more as a YouTube and Instagram, but this one is purely going to be an Instagram giveaway. If you found this review helpful, please give the video a thumbs up so that I know. And if you're new to my channel, definitely don't forget to subscribe. That way you don't miss out on future reviews. Otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching. I love you so much, and I will see you next time. Bye.